Why Not? A queer podcast.
Thank you to our sponsor, Pineapple Healthcare, an award-winning primary care clinic right here in Orlando.
Pineapple Healthcare offers mental health counseling, HIV, STI testing and treatment, and specializes in care for the LGBTQ plus community.
Open Monday through Saturday. Call today at 407-553-6336 and schedule your appointment.
Pineapple Healthcare. Better together.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Todd.
And I'm Jeremy Williams, and you're listening to Wine?
Why Not? A queer podcast.
Episode 136.
Oh, it's exciting.
Did you get caught off guard there?
I did. I started reading my paper, and then I looked up, and it was like 2, 1. I was like, oh, my God.
For those who are listening, I don't know if that will be the first thing you hear or not, if it got caught on the recording. But if you do start this off by hearing Rick go, oh, shit, then we apologize.
Yeah, usually we get to like 3 seconds in before we start saying shit or fuck or anything like that.
We usually let the moms and the conservatives turn off before we start using the curse words.
So I want to, for our viewing audience, not just our audio audience, but our viewing audience, Jeremy, what's going on behind you?
I, again, have changed my background. As you can see, that is my front door.
We're just getting closer and closer to pinpointing for our listeners exactly where you live.
I just want them to see the whole. Next week, I'll be in the bathroom. I want them to see all of the rooms in my apartment.
Maybe they're going to be like, Jeremy's our new Pokemon, and we're going to finish on Jeremy when they find your location.
Oh, well.
You're welcome.
Buzz at the door first so I can see what you look like. Initially when we first moved here, where most of the podcasts had been recorded, was right next to the bedroom door. As I think frequent listeners know, my roommate, Chris, is a nurse. He works overnight. So I try to be as quiet as I can. But for those also who are frequent listeners, I don't know how to do that. So I'm trying to move further away from the...
worked with you ever.
I'm loud. So
I was waiting for that. Like every time somebody says you're loud, you're like, "Hi, I'm loud. Move on."
So anyway, I moved the desk away from the bedroom door because I'm like, okay, a little distance between us. Maybe I won't wake him up every Monday. So I went to the kitchen, but the way that my kitchen table is set up, because I have like this little shelf thing on it because I have no room in my kitchen. It's very compact, and the moving around is just a pain in the ass. So I moved the desk to the entryway, which is about halfway through my apartment. So this is more, I guess, the south wing.
We'll find out if Chris has to get up to go to the bathroom or something.
Well, here's the thing. I get up this morning and I'm setting up. Chris is not here. It's Labor Day weekend, so he had the weekend off, so he is out partying. So I'm the only one in the apartment. So it doesn't matter that I moved it this week, but we'll see next week when he's
not to talk about his life, but I like how last time we talked, it was, oh yeah, though this fire or whatever this market days thing is going to be the last of the season for him.
We forgot about Labor Day. Labor Day is the last.
We forgot about Jen's birthday. It's like that. I will say this about your backdrop. What fascinates me about your backdrop is that it looks like a different apartment every room you're in. You're like going 10 feet this way and 10 feet this way, but every section looks like a whole different place.
By design. Nice. By design.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm just trying to, for people who now know my address, I'm just trying to throw them off which apartment I'm in.
Well, I don't know if you read the script that I sent you.
I sure did.
But it's wrong. So we're going to talk real quick about facts about the number 136.
Yes.
Everyone's favorite segment of the podcast.
I know. As I was gathering these fun facts, I'll use air quotes around fun facts because they aren't that fun. I was like, how long are we going to go on with me every Monday looking up each number and thinking nobody gives a shit about any of this stuff?
Do you I feel like 90% of what I have on these pages is stuff no one will give a shit about. So keep listening. It's going to be a good
I feel
one.
like the first 5 minutes of our podcast is when people get their drinks and get settled in. And it's like, oh, they're doing the number thing. We'll come back to it.
Well, it is because I think most people turn it off when we start talking about the actual movie. The point of the podcast. But I think because it's, if people haven't seen it, they don't listen. But anyway, let's go ahead.
So,
what do you got?
Here's a couple. The pain pill celecoxib. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right. The 200 milligram is an A136 pill. So if you come across a pill that has A136
sounds
on
like
it,
a job. Can you sell a coxbib? What is that? Is that a condom?
Yes. Let's see what else we got on here. 136 Asteria is a main asteroid belt that was discovered in 1874. So for people who like that space stuff. For video game people, you'll recognize Cell 136. It is a prison cell with significance in the video game The Evil Within, which is about demons and ghosts and spirits. So I doubt you'll ever play that. But if you do, stay away from Cell 136. And the last one I have, always for Caitlin, Pokemon 136.
Finish it.
We are wrapping up our evolution of Eevee with the final, well, at least in this number sequence. The last evolution of Eevee is Flareon, which is the fire evolution of Eevee. Flareon inhales air that is carried to its flame sac. It is
like
heated
flame on
and exhaled as fire that reaches over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This may not come as a surprise to anyone, but Flareon's weakness is water. So there are your fun facts for episode 136.
All right. I got a few. Just a couple.
Let's hear them.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Love it.
Comic book, graphic novel number 136 in the series features the first appearance of Harry Osborn as the Green Goblin 2.
Very nice. And if it has a comic book number on it, then it's just a comic book. Graphic novels, I don't believe are numbered unless they're volumes.
Oh.
So it would be comic book 136.
Nerd schooled. I'm just kidding.
I don't want Ryan to talk to you tomorrow and be like, that was incorrect, Rick.
Ryan's like, I'm going to just try to get a video made out of me. I'm listening and hating it because they can't pronounce it right. I like to talk about anything Spider-Man related that involves Harry Osborn. Even though this is the comic book, I will always attribute that to James Franco, who, when he was in Spider-Man, I thought he was hot.
Yeah. And for those who didn't connect the dots there, he played Harry Osborn in the Spider-Man movie.
Oh, God, if you didn't connect that dot, why are you so stupid? No, I'm just kidding. Kidding.
We love all of our listeners.
Isn't it? Yeah, that's probably like podcast rule 1. Don't call your audience stupid. All right. So, I only have one other one other than the typical one. So, sure. I'm going to see if you can guess this. This is the segment where we like Jeremy to guess the numbers. What is episode 136 of Friends about? I'm going to give you the season, the episode, and the air date.
Well, I already know the season. It's season 6.
Yes.
Because we talked last week. Obviously, they're going to go in.
We're still in
so
season
last
6.
Week was the Apothecary episode.
Look at you remembering from week to week what we do.
So last week, episode 135 was the Apothecary episode. So something of significance with that season. That means that's when Rachel and Phoebe were living together. So, and I realized this when we were talking last week, is I can remember segments, but a lot of them, unless all the stories interconnect, I can't remember what the other characters are doing in that episode. So like Phoebe and Rachel, they're doing the apothecary thing. I was like, unless they're all in doing the same thing, I have no idea what the rest of the cast were up to. But I'm going to say, you know what? When they lived together, they went jogging together. And
that's
Phoebe
a good episode.
They were living together, so that would have been around that time. So I'm going to guess The
That's a
jogging
good episode, but it is not that one.
Oh,
It is the one with Rachel's sister, where Reese Witherspoon plays her
Oh.
sister, and Rachel thinks that there's a spark between them, and she's like hinting like, oh, are you interested in Ross? And she's like, no. And she's like, why not? Ross is wonderful. And then she's like, oh, maybe I am interested. Maybe we will go out. So they went on a date, and she was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's also
Just
Go
a
ahead.
heads up, that's a 2-parter episode, so I'm gonna know what next week's episode
Oh,
is.
really?
Yeah.
It's also the one where Ross introduces Joey to a thesaurus, and so he writes letters that make absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Oh,
which
that's
is a
the
good
one
time.
where when because he's writing a letter because is that where he's
Yeah.
Monica and
it's-
Chandler want to get a baby?
No, that's the
No,
he
they're
writes
not married
that
yet.
one. Yeah, he writes that one, and they think a child wrote it. No,
Yeah.
this is where he wants people to write letters of recommendations for him to help him land a big acting gig. His thank you letters become a subplot when Chandler helps him use a thesaurus, making letters hilariously unreadable.
Yeah,
So
because
that's
he
that.
refers to himself as sincerely baby kangaroo because his name is Joey.
That show.
Joey.
There was a lot of there was recently I watch it every day, like for lunch or whatever. And
Yeah.
recently a lot of the ones with Chandler's dad have been on there. And I think those are the ones that get kind of cringy as time goes on.
Yeah.
But that show cracks me up. All right, so here we go.
Really quick, up until he passed away, every time he would run into Sybil Shepherd, he would call her dad.
You mean
Not Sybil Shepherd. No, who was it who played his
Kathleen Turner? I was like, what?
Turner.
Every time somebody's got a cold, I call it their Kathleen Turner voice.
Kathleen Turner. Those I confuse those two all the time.
She's fabulous. I love Kathleen
Yeah.
Turner. All right, so here we go. 136th greatest film of all time. I don't know if you're going to get this, so I'm just
No.
going to start telling you. It's a Terrence Davies movie, who I believe is
I don't know
British.
her.
1992. 1992. That, like, what other movies came out in 92? Do we know? I mean, it was the year before I
92.
graduated high school.
Let's see. 93 was Schindler's List and Jurassic Park because that was like Steven
Okay.
Spielberg's big
Well,
year.
that's good enough.
92.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
This movie was made in 1992, and I watched the preview for it, and it looks like it was made in like 1801. It is just it looks like it was made in 2002, which our audience will understand later. No, sorry, 2004, which we'll understand later. It looks like that. Terrible. Looks terrible. The Long Day Closes by Terrence Davies.
Well,
Terrence
it's not
Davies.
terrible. In fact, it's the 136th greatest movie ever made.
Yeah. What's next? If that's the 100 naked boys singing. All right, so here we go. You're gonna get this, and if you don't, then this is the last episode. I can't do
We're
this
never
anymore.
doing this again.
So the difficulty here is for me to try to get you to guess to not know it on the first one. So I'm trying to find the movie that you may not know who directed, and I can't find one. So here we go. It's between one of two, but I think that you'll know the other one. My Own Private Idaho. Director of My Own Private Idaho.
I'll be honest, I have never seen My Own Private Idaho.
I love that you haven't. So good. That was a good one. Now the next one's, I don't know, Drugstore Cowboy.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen that movie either.
All right. Now I only got two more options,
I
and
must-
you're going to get them.
I must
Here you go.
hate this director.
You're going to get it on this one because
Okay.
I think you love this movie. I think. To Die For.
I do love that movie. Isn't that Gus Van Sant?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
I love To Die For.
and
Good
my
Will
last
Hunting
one-
obviously is that last one.
Oh, the last one was going to be Milk. I forgot to
Or
write down
Milk.
Good Will Hunting.
Oh yeah, Good Will Hunting and Milk are probably the two he's most known for because I think he got
Isn't
Oscar
that-
nomination for those.
Isn't that really didn't Ben Affleck really direct? No, I'm just kidding.
Also, I believe Gus Van Sant directed, like, there was a TV show that we watched.
Didn't he direct a
and
Madonna video?
I mean, a bunch of directors get started in the 80s and 90s got started in music videos.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
While you're looking that
TV
up, I am going to say, because we are recording this since it's Labor Day, we're recording this earlier. So I am not drinking wine during this podcast. I am drinking my coffee and my juice. And by coffee, I mean these new espresso martinis in these cute, adorable little cans that I got from my liquor store, which, yes, the guy at the liquor store now knows me by face and says hello to me every time I come in there. And then by juice, I mean my mango White Claw. So that's what I will be drinking today.
You're a trooper. Good for you. I have cut myself to one energy drink because I don't want to look like I'm cracked out when I go to see my family when I leave here.
Out.
So Gus Van Sant, he directed the miniseries that I love, When We Rise.
That's what it is. Yes, he was involved with When We Rise.
But also Capote and versus the Swans. He directed an episode of that.
He did, yes. He did.
Yeah. So there we go.
Holy crap. By the way, this is very strong.
Oh, I can't wait till we get to talk about our movie, because that's going to be great. You know, I thought this would be fun. I don't know if we've ever done this on the podcast, but I know that we did this. You know, we've done this, you and I, because, you know, we're friends.
We're not doing that on the podcast.
We're going to finish on the gross. I just noticed that the Powerball is at $1 billion.
Oh, yes. It's like 1.2 billion.
Yeah. And Jen, you know, she's Jen. She's a lovely gal.
We've met.
She in honor of her birthday, which is on Tuesday. No, today's
Tomorrow?
Wednesday. Today's Monday. It's the 3rd, Thursday. So anyway,
Wednesday
okay.
is the 3rd. Yeah.
She used to says, like, I'll say, like, hey, the lottery drawing is tonight, let's get tickets. Jen will say, you know, when does the lottery go off? That's her way of saying it. Like, does anybody ever hear anybody ever say that the lottery goes off?
When does the lottery go off?
Like,
I've
it's
never
a firework or something. I was like, I don't know. I was like, you mean, when do they draw the numbers? So anyway, now I say everything like that. So if I'm gonna ask, like, what time a TV show comes on, I'll say, hey, Jen, what time does this TV show go off? But anyway, so the drawing is tonight, and it's, you know, over $1 billion. So I just thought it'd be fun to talk about what you would do. I assume you have a ticket.
Not only, I don't know if I've talked to you about this yet, and I don't know if it's nationwide or just like a certain states thing, but getting tickets to the Powerball or any lottery is super easy. It's going to turn into a commercial, by the way, now. I hope they sponsor us.
You could just go onto the app and...
You can. Jackpot.com. They have an app, and you just buy your tickets on the app, and then you get a screenshot of your tickets, of like an actual ticket, and then you get notifications if you won anything. It is super easy.
Jackpot.com?
Jackpot.com. So Chris and I have already purchased our tickets, and yes, we have already had the conversation about what we're going to do when we win.
You know, it's funny because when you and I have had this conversation in the past, it's sort of like it's this existential crisis immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, here's the question. Do you take the money, do you take the annuity, or do you take the payout?
We had that because we play the lottery, and you and Jen play the lottery all the time. So you probably have had these conversations over the many decades that you've all been playing. But we're always like, oh, we're going to take the lump sum and we're going to do this, this, and this. But we had a serious conversation. Like, we know we're going to win it. And we're like, literally, we need to talk about whether we're going to do the lump sum or the annuity, because first of all, it's over $1 billion. Now, you're not going to get the whole billion because of the way lottery works, but I don't like billionaires. So I don't even want to be associated with them. So I figured if we take it over the 30 years, I am set, because I will be 76 by the time I get my last payment. So I think we have decided we're going to do the annuity, where we're just going to take it every year.
Yeah, because here's the deal. When it's this much money, you know, when you take the payout, all you're taking is the amount of money that they would need to put in the bank pay you out over the 30
Yeah.
years. So the interest builds and all that kind of stuff. So let's say if it's 1.6 billion, let's say maybe you get 400 million cash
Yeah,
out
well,
of it.
let me look at the app real quick because it tells you on there if you take the annuity what you're taking,
Yeah.
what you're going to get.
So then does it also say what the
498.4 million.
Okay, so
You
that's what
lose
you would get.
more than half of it right off the
Right.
top.
And so but you have it, right? So then but if you took the payments, did it say what the payments would be per year?
Yes. Well, I looked it up. The way that it works is your initial payment will be about $15 million. And then every year you get an additional 5% on top of what you got the year before. And they do that because over the 30 years, they want your winnings to adjust for any kind of inflation.
Oh, okay.
So you'll start off with about 15 million, but by the year 30, you're getting like a check for like $70 million or something like that.
Yeah, so it's sort of like I think 15 million. Like if your idea is like, oh, I'll buy a house and I'll travel and I'll do this, I think like you could do that. You could buy a couple of houses and get set up and then get the full payments. Like
and then the next 30 years you're doing you don't have to do nothing.
But here's the question. Here's why it's a question. Who pays you? Like if you win, does the state of New York pay you? If I win, does the state of Florida pay me? Because here's the problem. I think they'll steal my money because they could say, you know what I mean? You just don't know where it's so crazy in the world right now. You don't know where anything's going to go. Once they criminalize gayness, do they take our money and all of our assets? You know what I mean? So it's just or is it like, yeah, I mean, I guess that Caitlin said, hopefully you've already moved to Europe by then. And I guess there is that. I mean, trust me, if I win, I'm going to do a lot of research about offshore accounts and where all that's going to go. I've also thought about, and this is real trust. This is real trust. If I have the winning ticket, I think I'm going to give it to Jen and let her cash it in. Just because I feel like owning a newspaper, having this documentary, it's basically like, hey, this guy's got millions of dollars. Let's sue him. Because he'll settle rather than pay, and they'll just start taking money from you. So it's just really.
I have thought this. Me and Chris had that conversation too, and I'm like, if we win, we're going to tell everyone I know that Chris won, and Chris is going to tell everyone he knows that I won, so that because like my family and my close friends, yes, they're gonna all be taken care of. And if it helps, yes, I consider everyone on this podcast as a close friend. You all will get taken care of. But I don't need my fourth cousin, who I haven't talked to in 30 years, reaching out to me and be like, hey, cuz, I could really use this, or I could use help with that. So if I tell everybody Chris won, my fourth cousin isn't going to call me and be like, hey, I mean, if he does, I'm going to be like, dude, that's not my money. But it is my money.
I think that that's things people say, if I win the lottery, you won't know, but there'll be signs.
Yeah.
There'll definitely be signs. I don't know that I'm going to tell anybody anything, but it's just there will definitely be some signs. So the existential crisis is immediately, do you use your powers for good or do you use your powers for evil?
Good. And here's why I think that God should let me win the lottery, because I have always wanted to do this because I think that it would be really cool. And this would probably only work if I took the lump sum. I want to get like a big RV, and I want to travel the country, and I want to stop in small towns and just like go to little cafes or libraries or whatever and talk to just common people about their life. And then they're like, oh yeah, I'm working at this diner because I have 3 kids and I'm trying to get through school. And then just leave them an envelope of like $50,000 and disappear.
Well, I think you just pitched a TV show idea. It's sort of like Undercover Boss, but it's like Undercover God.
Yes.
Or Jeremy's just going around playing God. Or like somebody comes up and they're like, you're like a $10,000 person. But then like this hot guy is like homeless for a minute, and Jeremy's like, you get $20 million.
Well, I will have a box with envelopes, and there will be varying amounts of money in all the envelopes, and it will depend on the situation.
Have you had the good versus evil conversation with Chris? Because I feel like...
Yes, I have told Chris he would be a terrible rich person, and that's why if I win, I will make sure he is taken care of, but I don't think he can be trusted with that amount of money not to destroy lives.
See, now sometimes I wonder, like, do we talk the way that we talk because we know other people are listening, or are we being genuine about it? Because if I'm being somewhat genuine, I will say this: the thought will cross my mind. It will cross my mind that I might just put $1 million into that house in St. Pete and clean up that street. That street, like I might just
Buy the whole block.
I might buy the commercial space across the street and get rid of all of those cars and clean it out and just put a park in there, but just so that can't happen. And I'd tear all those trees down and move my fence and clear all that out, and
Buy all the houses around, then put a big wall around all your property and tell people that
I thought about buying everybody out, just giving them a number that they can't, refuse, and then tear it all down, build really nice houses, and then remember the 2 names of the people who made offers and backed out, and never ever let them live there ever. You think about people that like have wronged you in some way, and you think like, should I buy their company and fire them? Like, you're talking about a lot of money here. But I would definitely
because this is $1 billion. One thing that I did talk to Chris about doing that I thought would be kind of hilarious is over where Pulse is at, buying all of the houses and property on that road, that side road, making it a private road, and then painting the whole road rainbow.
Oh, there you go.
And be like, it's a private road, DeSantis. I can paint it whatever I want.
Yeah, and this is why. And this is why I gotta take the lump sum, because I think after a couple of years they'll arrest me and they'll seize my money and say like, oh, you're a bad so like, but yeah, that's the kind of stuff I do for sure. I would definitely put a sum of it into an account, and all the interest on that would go to local charities. Yeah, that for sure.
Oh, I told Chris, I was like, I don't think anyone in my life, I don't think anybody should be grossly rich, like hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. I said, but I would make sure that they wouldn't have to work unless they wanted to. But most of it, I'm sending into HIV research. I'm sending to cancer research. I'm like, use your money for good and get some of this shit cured. Because statistically, 1 in every 3 people gets cancer in America. So that means someone on this podcast is going to get cancer. So we should all be focused on trying to get that shit cured, because I don't want it.
I'm so sorry, Caitlin. I hope you're
okay.
No.
My heart breaks, but I don't want it to be me, Caitlin, so I'm sorry.
And Jeremy and I have this podcast to do, so.
We're too important. Didn't you just hear we're millionaires?
Hey, but with my $1 billion, I'll pay your bills.
Yeah. I'm going to buy a hospital, Caitlin, and you get free reign of all of it. All the rooms are
yours. So when I say there will be signs, here are some signs. If 1 week we record this podcast and I'm, the backdrop of a New York penthouse, like say next Monday.
Is that Central Park behind you, Richard?
Yeah. And then the next week, it's the beaches of Hawaii in the background. You'll know. Because this is like immediate. What's definitely going to happen is New York apartment and a Hawaii house. Like those things are happening. And then who knows from there. That's
you and Chris's aspirations are very similar. His are a penthouse in New York and a beach house in Miami, but it's the whole I need a tropical house and I need a New York house. Yeah, and I'm like, I will move to a building, not this one.
If you see an ad next week in Watermark for a business manager, you'll know I've won the lottery. Nice. Especially if it's like starting salary $250K. I mean, I'm still I don't want to give it up. I mean, I love this company. So I definitely want to do things to help improve and all that stuff. I'm just going to be like, I'll check in, from my New York penthouse or my, this is what I love about Hawaii, about houses in Hawaii. Your backyard is a beautiful mountain and your front yard is an incredibly beautiful ocean. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. And I need to have that.
I just got a note because I get notifications on job postings on Indeed that I connect with because still unemployed. And I just got a notification. Indeed says that Fox News is looking for an assignment editor.
I knew it. I always knew it.
A job is a job.
Flip the switch. That's a joke. Jeremy and I have often talked about flipping the switch at Watermark when he worked there as a joke. We're like, yeah, if any of us ever get canceled, we're like, flip the switch. We're going all right. Can you imagine? Look at
There
that.
will
How
be
easy
signs.
would it be?
That will be the sign. We've
It just
joined the
seems like it'd
racial
be
elite
easy,
and we become
wouldn't it?
alt-right.
Facts don't matter.
Lying and not having to check facts. Yeah, that's super easy.
It's so easy. Talk about using your powers for evil. Nah,
Mhm.
you're not evil. I mean, am I supposed to say that? So anyway, those are lottery
Fox News?
dreams. It'll be
Yes.
fun. Let's win. Let's just do it.
Let's do it. Let's just do it.
Let's do this. Like, let's.
I mean,
make
we've been
sure,
fucking around for years, but now let's do it.
But let's make us promise to each other.
Yeah.
We won't stop doing the podcast.
Oh no, I insist that, especially if I win, I want to do the podcast and just rub it in people's faces. That's the only bet. I will do all good, but the podcast, that 2 hours will just be my time to be bad and rub it in.
Look, when our marketing budget is nothing, like we would just be the two. I assume that you're giving me a large sum of money if you win, and I assume that I'm taking care of you immensely if I win. So that
I sure hope so.
all for the podcast. It's all a podcast expense, right? So, but our marketing budget would be huge. We'll be going we'll go to the Met Gala. We'll review that. Like we're just this podcast is gonna blow up.
Our podcast salaries will be like the cast of Friends, like $1 million an episode.
But Caitlin, I don't want you to worry. We will still send you the producer link. All right. How was your week, Jeremy?
My week was good. A couple of things. I'm gonna start because I normally start like from the beginning of the week and then go chronologically. What I'm gonna do this week is I'm gonna start with closest to my home and then move out in the city. Because two things.
You moved out?
No.
You
wish.
branched out?
Oh, I did a little bit.
How exciting!
But two things happened right attached to my building that I want to talk about. And one of them actually happened 2 weeks ago, but I forgot to mention it. I'm pretty sure I didn't bring it up on the last podcast. But The Daily Show is on hiatus until September. So I was walking to Barnes & Noble, which you have to pass by the Daily Show building. And there was artwork on the side of the wall. And I don't know if it was artwork directed towards the Daily Show itself or just our neighborhood in general. But someone, there's no real nice way to say this, someone took their shit and rubbed it in a circular pattern on the side of the Daily Show studio.
Was it the Capital Shaman?
I don't know who it was, but they really need to check their diet because this was not healthy shit. It's very dark and it was very wet. So,
Caitlin, I don't know about you, but I am literally about to throw up. I'm like, ugh.
So
I can almost see it and smell it.
Because I am the journalist that I am, I took photos of it to document. Because I was like, no one is going to believe me that someone just shit arted on the wall. Sharded. So I took photos.
That's a clip.
I'll send them to Caitlin, and maybe she can post them up on Instagram or something. I don't know. But yeah, someone shit arted on the wall. So that's on the, when you come out of my apartment, because everyone knows where I live anyway, that's to the left. To the right is the bodega. Now, we talked about this about a month and a half ago. They got the horse carriages. The stables are like the few buildings behind us.
I've smelled
and the horse died on the corner. So there's a billboard on top of the bodega, which is what blocks these windows right here. And that billboard is now a picture of that dead horse. It's a PETA billboard. And it says, "Stop killing horses."
Wow.
So that's on the right side of my building with the shit art on the left side. So that's what happened to our block this week. What's funny is I'll get a picture of the billboard, but I went to take a picture of the billboard. And as I was pulling my camera out, one of the guys with his horse carriages walked by and just like stared at me like to say, why are you fucking taking a picture of that? I'm just trying to work.
Aw.
Like, sorry. But yeah, big old picture billboard of a dead horse and shit on the walls. That was my
You
block.
know, it's if Banksy did it, people would be like, "This is amazing."
Right? You're talking like $1 million artwork. But
Yeah,
no,
that shit's worth $1 million.
some crazy person writes their shit off and then they hose it down.
Yeah, I do it and I get arrested. Banksy does it and it's art.
Yeah.
I got it.
Anyway, they cleaned it off, so it's gone. But I have the photos if anybody wants to see them.
I'd say that's disgusting, but that you would take a photo of that. But I think I should tell you. Did I tell you I used to work at SeaWorld? I used to work in SeaWorld
Yeah.
when I was like 16 as an operations. Operations is just like the people who clean the stadiums and stand out in front of them and tell you when the stadiums are too full and that kind of thing. But people would throw up all the time. Like kids, it's
Yeah.
hot and they get sick and one time there was this girl, there was like this cheerleading competition going on and this girl just blew chunks right in front of like the pool area where
Ew.
at the Whale Dolphin Stadium. And when people would throw up, we would stand around and try to guess what they had to eat because that was the most exciting part of our day. And I'm like, how is there perfectly diced ham in there? I don't understand.
Oh God. I would gladly take shit on the walls as art
Hell
than
no.
examining throw up.
Give me a pile of puke any day.
Ugh,
Listen, I mean, shit's gross. Throw up is
It
like
is.
that's before it's processed. So you like
Vomit's
processed
gross
foods.
too,
I
though.
like not processed.
I don't like. I'm not a fan of anything mucusy, and vomit is far too mucusy for me.
I do feel like this is probably the most disgusting show we've done so far.
Yeah, so far.
What else happened? What else you got?
I didn't go for the whole weekend because I'm not a party guy like Chris, but a bunch of his friends were going to a bar on Friday, and Chris convinced me to come out with him and his friends, and we went to a bar. It's called, I got a little Matchbox there. It's called It's Him, and it is like the classiest. It was like a movie bar. You know when you watch movies and they go into like classy gay bars? It was like super classy. You can tell because they give you books of matchboxes at the door. But like they serve, and no disrespect to any gay bars I've been to in Orlando or anywhere else, but they serve drinks in actual glassware. And the servers were wearing, I mean, they were buttoned down to like their navel, but they had like the white shirts with the suspenders. And you go through like a red velvet curtain when you walk in. Just very classy place. But really cute bar. Music's not too loud, so you can have a conversation. And I met a bunch of his party friends. Two things I noticed. First, all of his friends are super nice, and I don't know why. You know, like it's the whole unknown thing. Like he's just like, oh, I'm going out to the bars, and then going clubbing, or to raves or circuits or whatever they call them. So you assume that it's all probably like, you know, sweaty twinks who are all coked out or something. I just assume that's who goes to circuits. But they're
Tell
all
me
like,
more.
but they're all super nice. They were having like intelligent conversations, and I was like, this is not what I thought.
What? Smart
this
twinks
would
not
be.
coked out?
Like just having a good time and having intelligent conversations, except there was one person, and he was very nice. But he did ask me what my my anus looked like. But he was asking everybody. He was curious what everyone's anus
Was
looked
he
like.
a proctologist?
I don't think so. I think he was just really curious about everyone's butthole.
Was he into shit art?
He was calling them buttholes and wanted everyone to describe theirs. So that was the only kind of,
Was anybody able to?
Well, yeah.
I mean, how do you know? I don't know.
You don't know what your butthole looks like?
No. Except that one time I took a picture of it and showed you.
Oh.
Look at Caitlin's face. And Caitlin, the sad thing is it's a true story.
I just want to say that it was medical related. It's not like he was just like, doesn't my butthole
I was like, look how
nice
pretty
today?
this is.
It was medical related. It was It was not for pleasure. It was for medical purposes.
Yeah.
But anyway, the beautiful bar. And it's only like 2 blocks away from me. So I think I've been looking for kind of like a Cheers style bar where it's like, you go in and it's not like loud music and you just kind of hang out and have a drink or two. So I think this might become my Cheers bar. But then they went to like the dance clubs afterwards. And I was like, I'm not in a dance club mood. So they went to the dance clubs. And then as I was going home, there's a burger joint called Lucky's. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of hungry. So I went in there. It's next to, I think it's called Hush. It's next to a dance club called Hush, a gay club. Best smash burgers I've ever had in my life. I mean, it was it was like one of those burgers you take a bite into and it's just like, orgasmic. It was just the most amazing burger. Now, again, I was also a little tipsy, so that might explain a lot why.
Are you a smash burger fan?
I love smash burgers. They're my favorite kind of burger.
Do you put it in your smash mouth?
I do. I do. And then it comes out my smash butthole.
We're always going to, this is like the official butthole episode. So do you know that Watermark's the next issue of Watermark? You wouldn't know this because you've missed like every editorial meeting since you've moved to New York.
It's true.
It is.
Nobody called. I'm not on the call list anymore, so it's not like I wouldn't join in.
The in-depth story is about a bunch of new bars that are opening up, like Kirk's Place is opening where Cityside used to be, but Southern's rebranding. Now I'm going to say a bunch of rumors.
Southern
stuff here.
In general, or Southern just in Tampa?
Southern in Tampa.
Okay, because they had been before I left. They had talked about rebranding.
Like I think it's the Pink Pony Club. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Ooh,
anyway,
I think that's copywritten.
I know it's gonna be. Well, I don't know, and who knows? Maybe they got permission, maybe they didn't, but they're not talking to us about it.
Of course,
rumor has it, and I'm just saying, rumor has it, is they're just upset at us because of the stories that we did about an alleged pedophile. And I'm like, why are you mad at us? We didn't sleep with the kid.
I had, and you introduced me to the editor and owner of Gay City News up here.
Yes.
And we went and had.
Isn't he fabulous?
Coffee.
He's such a nice guy.
Him. He is such a nice guy. Not bad to look at either.
No,
I don't know if he's listening to this podcast, but he's a handsome man. But we talked about the kind of that fine line we have to walk with being members of the queer community and being journalists, and how if we're not the ones reporting that story, it looks like we're covering them up. Right. Because that's our community. And he was talking about how certain stories that he's done where the community got pissed that he covered it. And he's like, we have to be the ones to cover it, or we look like we're ignoring it.
Right. And you should want good leaders.
Yeah.
So you should want to hear these things so that you know who's good. Anyway, that's enough biz talk. What else did you do this weekend?
Okay, so the other thing I did that was really cool is when you lived up here, did you ever go to the Paley Museum? It's the Museum of Radio and Television.
Was that inside of the duplex?
No.
No, because that's what I did. I went to the bar.
Okay. Then you probably should, next time you're up here, you should go because it's kind of cool. They have the first floor is a rotating exhibit. And right now, because it's the 30th anniversary of the premiere of Everybody Loves Raymond. And the way that you and I are with Friends, that's how my parents are with Everybody Loves Raymond. Like,
that tracks.
Their entire personality is Everyone Loves Raymond. Their jokes are all from Everybody Loves Raymond. Everything in their life is referenced, like with us with Friends, references back to Everyone Loves Raymond. So the beautiful thing about the Paley Museum is if you're a veteran or a first responder, it's free to get in. So I didn't have to pay nothing. It's not that much for the tickets, like $20, but it was free to get in. So I went and saw the exhibit, and they had scripts and items and stuff from the show. So I did a walkthrough video of the exhibit for my mom, and I sent it to her, and she was super excited. And she was like, oh, this and that, this is from that, and this is from that. And they had the couch. I found out it is not the original couch, but the couch from the show. They had a replica, so you could take photos with it. But I found out because I asked if it was the actual couch, and they said no. The actual couch, Ray Romano, when the show went off the air, took it, and it's in his house. So like the actual Everybody Loves Raymond couch is in his house, which I
Huh.
thought was kind of interesting.
I'd like to know in what room and what capacity that couch gets used.
It's in his
Or
bedroom.
is it just a display? Like, does he have a little museum in his house or something? I imagine he lives in a mansion. I don't know.
Yeah, I bet he does. He made a shit ton of money off that show. But along with that, they have the actual set from the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. So you can go see the set. They also, it's one of the largest archives of TV and radio that they have. So if you go up to, I think it's the 4th floor, they have all these computers, and you get 90 minutes. You check out a set of headphones, and you can watch anything that is in the Paley archives. So I was going through, and I listened to the very first radio broadcast of Superman from like 1939 or something. And then I watched the very first episode of the George Reeves Superman. Now, the reason, I don't know if you're on the Superman side of TikTok, but there's been a lot of complaints or like arguing about when Superman, the tagline Truth, Justice, and the American Way started. And they're like, no, that started like in the 50s and 60s. That wasn't in the early ones. And then people are like, no, it was. And they were posting clips of it, and they're saying it was edited out. So I went and listened to the original one, and the clips online, they did edit it out. Because the first episode, they say Truth, Justice, and the American Way. And I was like, oh, I should make a TikTok about this and be like, hey, guys, I saw the original broadcast. He does say American Way. Sorry. But it was so much fun. It's such a nice place. Add it to the list of amazing bathrooms, because there is a pair of bathrooms on the 4th floor in the archives that are just top notch. I mean, there was a line for this bathroom. They were so nice.
So if you're a veteran and you need to pee,
or a first responder,
and
you got to pee. Although I'm assuming if you're a first responder in New York City, you can pee at any firehouse in the city.
Or if you have to pee and you have $20,
yeah,
there you go.
Even if you don't have to pee and you have $20, I mean, it's a really nice museum, and the people at the entrance, they are super nice.
Jeremy legit seriously was just like, no. Even if you don't have to pee,
I'm just saying,
you should see the museum.
If your bladder's empty, still go see the museum. So I went, and I was there for a few hours, and then when I came out, because it's right off of 6th Street or 6th Avenue, and there was a street festival going on. So like every weekend, there's a freaking street festival somewhere in the city. So I was walking through, and it was like a multicultural street festival. So they had foods from all over the world. I had the most amazing empanadas from Colombia. And then I got some street tacos from the Mexican tent that were fantastic. So I'm walking down the street, and they got the streets blocked off, and a car turns onto the blocked off street. And I went into panic mode because I've seen too many fucking videos of this where people just plow down the street. So I'm like, oh, paranoid. You can see people around me. They're paranoid. And these cops come running up to the car, and they're screaming, telling him to stop. And it turns out that it was just a couple of stupid tourists who were like, oh, Google Maps told us to turn down this street. And the cop looks at them and says, did you not see the fucking barricades, you fucking idiot? And I was like, that's how you talk to him, officer. You let them know. But he was so pissed. He was screaming at them. And I was like, I thought I was about to witness a tragedy happen. It was just a couple of idiots. But I was terrified for a second. Also, if you're using Google Maps, also kind of look around you while you're using it. That's just a nice PSA to offer people. Look around you and make sure that you're allowed to go down that road. But that was yesterday, and that was the furthest I made it into the city out of my house was 6th Avenue.
Well, congratulations. That's far.
Yeah,
I mean, it's 5 Avenue blocks. That's Avenue
5 blocks,
but the
those
Avenue
are the long
blocks
ones.
are longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, branching out.
So that was my week. It was a good week.
How
was your week?
It was okay. I was talking to Dylan about it before the call, because it's funny because his memory sucks, but he's the person that I have to call to tell me what I did for the week.
Do you have that note? Download a note app on your phone. I have a terrible memory too. Every time something happens in my week that I think I should talk about that on the podcast, I make a note of it.
I think
Just
it's
make a note
cleaning
of it.
day at Caitlin's house. Somebody sounds like they're
Is
running
that a vacuum cleaner?
cleaner. I know,
I
it
heard a
sounded
vacuum
like it.
cleaner.
Either that or somebody's got a dot matrix printer. I can't tell. Can you imagine? Anyway,
Caitlin's like, I'm just printing my report.
I want to give you a house update. So I don't know
Oh,
what the
yes.
situation was the last time we talked. I told you about a person that had been at the house for like an hour on the open house,
Yeah.
right? Um, well, she came in with an offer, right?
Oh, great.
And it was like an offer. It was kind of interesting because it was like not just an offer. It was a low ball offer, but it came with a letter, which
Like,
was
how
kind of
low?
well, like, so we were asking basically 350, so 349.9. We just wanted, so we felt like the problem was the reason that the house hadn't been getting a lot of traffic is because people were setting a parameter of let me look at houses up to 350 because that's how people's brains work, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
let me look for up to 350. If they looked for up to 375, they would find us. But if they
Yeah.
were looking for like 350,
That's why everything's like $9.99, $19.99. Yeah.
so we did 349.9. And so her initial offer was like at 315, which was
Oh,
like,
shit. That's real
so
low.
that's pretty low, right?
Yeah.
But it had this nice letter, and it was just kind of like it basically was like, I love this house. This house is amazing. But it was like, but your neighborhood sucks. You know, and it's like, and I
Yeah.
know you have no control over this, but it doesn't mean it's not going to suck for me when I live there. And, you know, I still have this problem. There will still be this and this kind of thing. And it was funny to us because I was kind of like, it's almost like we were paying pain and suffering for future pain and suffering of the next resident, which kind of cracked me up and made me laugh. So I, in turn, wrote another letter back and was like, yes, all of that is true. However, and like, yes, we had a lot of the same reservations when we moved in. However, here's my experience there. And it's just kind of like painting this picture of like, you know, we get on our scooters and 2 blocks away is the Pinellas Park Trail, which puts us 5 minutes from every Rays game and every event that happens on Central and right downtown without having to worry about parking and all this kind of stuff. Like, this was a really good picture. And so she was like, then it was like, okay, that makes sense. We'll go up, you know, a little bit and a little bit. And then we came down a little bit and we settled. So we're under contract, and which is great.
Congratulations.
And we settled for like 335, which is about 14 less than that asking price, which I think is kind of standard. I mean, we were really hoping to get 350 in the long run, but coming 15 lower than that, we still could do the things that we wanted to do. Maybe just not our 5-year anniversary probably won't happen in Europe, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, but we still can do the other things. It doesn't
can
matter
always-
anyway because I'm going to win the lottery.
Yeah, you can always go to Vegas, which they built half of Europe there anyway. So
Or we could go to Epcot and pretend.
there you go.
And we already have that pass. So
That's cheaper than Vegas.
So it's cool. Now, I'm not getting excited because, you know, we've been burned a couple of times on this. So I'm going to wait until Friday. The Friday is when the inspection period ends. And, you know, we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited about it. She seems to really want the house. I mean, another thing that I kind of talked about was like, listen, we can't go that low on this. If we did, I would just rent it out for 5 years and then all of a sudden I've got a $500,000 home or a $600,000 home, because that's what's happening. That's what's going to happen in that area. And I think, but so, and then even after the offer came in and we're under contract, we still carry on with the open houses. Like there are open houses scheduled, and they're going to keep
until
doing
it's
it.
locked down. Yeah,
Until it's locked down. Yeah, just take backup offers, just keep people interested in seeing it. You know, and so she came back. So her 4th time visiting the house and brought a different person to check other things. So I feel like she's super serious about it. I don't feel like the other 2 were super serious about it, but I think she is. I think she really likes it. And so I have more hope than I have in the past. So we'll see. Come Friday, like the next time we record this podcast, I will tell you whether I am packing that house up and excited or whether I'm going to burn it, take the insurance money.
Yeah.
Now, if the house burns down, it wasn't me. It was a joke.
Curious, and I don't know if this was ever an option, but did you guys ever think about, hey, let's go ahead and keep the house and just rent it out?
Dylan wanted to do that initially, and I poo-pooed it because first of all,
keep it with the shit jokes.
Yeah, I know. Right. First of all, I don't want some asshole renters. See, sticking with the shit jokes.
There you go.
I didn't. You know, it's like you could get renters like I was a renter, which is like, hey, I'm going to spend my own money and renovate this house. Those are
Yeah.
good renters. Or you get renters that suck that are like, the light bulb's out in the hallway. You need to come fix it. Like, no, just change the light bulb. Anyway,
Yeah.
so, and if I'm in Orlando and all this happened in St. Pete, there's just a lot going on. And then,
You
I've
got
also,
Ryan over there who can run, and I hear he's become quite handy since getting a house.
and I hear like all these horror stories about people, even people
Yeah.
who've rented to their friends and then their friends destroy their homes.
Oh, if
And
I had houses I was renting, I would never rent to a friend because I feel like they would take advantage of you more than a stranger would.
yeah, and just the money that they had to pour into it and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And and it's just like, I don't know.
All right, you sold me. Just sell it.
Yeah. Plus, if we rent it, then we don't have the money to renovate Jen's house to make
Right.
it comfortable for us, and then we're just
That makes sense.
shoved in the short. So anyway, I said no. But for the purposes of selling the house, I said I'll rent it. But anyway, so there was that. I don't know. Had I booked did I book my St. Louis trip the last time we talked?
I don't know if you booked it, but you talked about that you were going to St. Louis.
Yeah, I must have done it like right after it. Like, yeah, so the NGLJA conference, the National Gay and Lesbian Journalists Association conference is in no, that's not true. That's the Lion conference. So I'm going to go to Seattle, but then on Saturday I'm on a panel at the NGLJA conference. Now you went to that, right? That was the thing you went to in
That's
Philly.
the first time I went to Philly. Yeah.
Did you go to that actual conference or did you just go to Philly?
No, I went to the actual conference.
How was it? Was it cool?
It was awesome. I loved it. It's kind of that thing when I was there when I worked at Watermark, where we talked about how activists see us as journalists and journalists see us as activists.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that we would do was tied into the activism part and not necessarily the journalism part. And that was strictly like all the courses, all the panels, everything was focused on journalism, or at least because there's like different tracks you can go to.
Yeah.
And AP has a collection of panels that they did, and I am an AP whore. There is no style other than AP style. So I got a lot of good information out of that. They had an AP style panel where 90% of the questions were journalists bitching about the Oxford comma. And I was like, dude, let it go. When they want it, they'll tell us we can use it. But until then, move on. But it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. I got a lot of information out of it.
All right. Well, I hope people feel the same way when they come to the panel that I'm speaking on.
What's your panel on?
I'm going to look real quick. Hold on.
Oh, it's next week, dude. Don't you have to prepare?
All right. I just want to make sure look, I have to read this. It's so funny. It's on this. It's on the and this is like embargoed because it's not really out yet. But we're part of this media
Calm down,
mapping
Tom
project.
Holland. We're not allowed to read that script yet.
Anyway, so this is what it's on. And I have to read through all this, but it's about the LGBT. It's about basically the importance of LGBTQ plus media. I think it'll be fine. I mean, trust me, I'm going to St. Louis by myself, and all of the things at this conference I'm going to are all ticketed events at night. And by the time I booked the trip, they were all sold out. So I'm there by myself with nothing to do. So I'm just gonna prepare for all of this. So I just want to tell you real quick. So well, I'll get to this. I'm just going to show you this picture. Where's my camera? You see that? Those are Italian cookies.
Yes.
Dylan and I made these for Jen's birthday because they're her favorite cookies. And Dylan just sent me the picture. Like, I usually make the cake parts, and then like he assembles it all. And so he just put the chocolate on it and sliced them, and they look delicious. So forgive me for one moment. I know he's eaten one. I'm going to see how they taste. So anyway, Tuesday was my first time going to play softball in this new league, this new Tuesday night league that we're playing in. And so I heard people talk like that the other teams are like full of like amateur like minor league ball players or college superstars, and they beat our team 18-4. The first time I was, that's when I was in Chicago, was the first game, and our team lost 18-4. And the only reason we scored 4 runs is because the other team was about to run rule them, and then they walked the bases loaded and walked 4 batters in so that they wouldn't mercy rule them. Because there's like a mercy rule if you're winning by so many runs at the end of so many innings, then they call the game. But they wanted to bat again, so they let them score enough runs so they would get to bat again. So the other teams are in total control of these games. So I was setting, that was my expectation of going there. We played. We got like, I think we played to 1 out. There were like 5 or 6 batters. I did catch a ball though, which was kind of cool. That was fun. I got I got 2. There were 2 outs, and I think I was responsible for 2 of them, something like that. Anyway, then lightning started striking, and sirens were going off, like get off the fields. And then we sat in the dugout for an hour while we waited for them to decide whether they were going to call the game or not. The only reason that I bring that up is to say thank you to Dylan for going with me, and I think he'll never go again.
Yeah.
Because all we did was sit in the dugout and talk, and it was such a waste of time. So there was that. Would you like an update on the rat situation at the house?
Oh, God. Yeah, I guess.
Because it got real loud the other day. Real loud. So I'm not going to say the name of this company because I don't feel like we should talk bad about national companies on our podcast.
Sure.
But so about 6 months ago, we had a rat guy, like a local rat guy. And, he comes and he puts bait out and he just checks it all the time. And he's like, yeah, I don't know why they're still here, So
he sounds good at his job.
Yeah, so we call this. Yeah, he sounds a lot like Ryan, too, doesn't he?
Oh. But Ryan, you are very good at your job.
Oh, I meant just like the voice I gave him, not,
Right.
So anyway, so I tell Jen, so the guy comes and he's like, listen, this is the process. We're going to seal your house up so nothing can get in. And we're going to do this thing where, like, if they get out, they can't get back in because they have this little trap door thing. And then he said to me, these words. He's like, it was $1,800 to have them do this. And he said, it's $1,800 for a year. And our job is to get rid of them. And we will do that. So you keep calling us and we'll keep doing it. We will get rid of them. So 6 months later, they're not gone. And so we call and we say, listen, let's get this guy out. And apparently the guy on the phone, I don't know, kept saying, instead of mice, he was saying mices, which made Jen laugh because Jen called to make the appointment. But it's important to know that to kind of understand the problems that we had. So then he's like, so I'll get a guy out to come out there and check it out, like the pest guy. But then he's like, oh, but you're up for an inspection, so I can send this guy out and he checks the holes to make sure that the house is sealed. And we're like, oh yeah, well, we can do that too. We're like, but it's a busy day, so just schedule them at the same time and let's get it done. Wow. The one guy, the pest guy, messaged me and he's like, well, I can be there in 10 minutes. It's first thing in the morning. And I was like, all right, I'll go back. So then we get there and he's like, so what's going on? That's a question I always hate, right? What's going on? Read the file, man.
I will say, for as long as this issue has been going on at that house, he should know what is going on.
Right. I mean, and don't act like you don't know anything about us. Like, hey, I hear you're still having a rat problem. Let me get up there and set some traps and look at the situation and see what I can do. That's all you got to say. So anyway, and then I said, I don't know which guy you are. Are you the hose guy? Are you the rat guy? And he's like, well, I'm pest. What do you mean hose guy? And I was like, well, they said somebody's going to come out to check out the holes. And he's like, oh, so I forget the word he uses. And then I was like, no, he said something like you're due for an inspection. So what the guy had scheduled wasn't the hose guy. He had scheduled an inspector to come out and sell me on the hose guy. But we've already bought the hose guy. Anyway, I was just like, so then he calls and says, I got it all straightened out. We got that canceled, blah, blah, blah. Then I come home from work and there's an inspector's card in the door. So they never canceled it. The guy's still okay. Anyway, I'm sitting there talking to the guy and I'm showing him like the hallway where the air handler is and how there's that big hole up there and everything. And I told him, I was like, one time a rat jumped out of that hole onto me. Do you know what he said? He said, I would have died. I'm like, what? You're the rat guy.
Your job.
You should have grab it, pet it, throw it in a box and take it away. You're gonna die.
Seriously, that's like me being like, "Hey, if somebody had sent me a news story to edit, I'd have died." It's your fucking job. What are you talking about?
So he was very nice though, and very handsome. But he was very nice.
You know that fixes a lot of
Yeah.
it for me. Give me his
He asked
number.
me a question about something, and I said, I will tell you, a person from this company has never gotten into the attic higher than waist deep. You know, like no one's ever walked in the attic to see what's going on up there. And I can say that is still true. This guy still didn't do that. But I will admit it's a weird attic space. There's like a little,
Sure.
there's like a 2-foot attic space, and then there's a bigger one. And the problem is happening in that 2-foot thing. So anyway, he goes up there, and I'm like, because he's like, I can put more traps up there. And I'm like, I've probably got 20 traps up there of all varying kinds. I was like, but go ahead, add a couple more, you know, whatever, do what you got to do. So he gets up there and he says, oh, it looks like you caught one. And I'm like, oh, well, that made me sad because I was convinced there was just the one. and then I was like, oh, well, let me get a bag. And he's like, is that what you do with them? And I was like, well, what do you do with them? Because, you know, when they get snapped and they die, we
Come
put
on,
them in a
hot
bag
guy.
and throw them away.
I
So
hope he
anyway,
doesn't keep them.
that's when he goes, no, it's still alive. And I was
Oh,
like,
God,
so I
no.
caught it in one of the blue traps, which are like one of the more humane ways, like because it walks across this door to get to food that it can't actually get to, and then the
And then
door
it
closes and it's stuck in there. And
Mhm.
so I guess it must have just recently happened. By the time I catch them, I mean, they're actually supposed to be humane, but they can be very cruel if you don't check them every day, because sometimes you check it and
because
there's
they
a
starve to
skeleton.
death in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's horrible. So anyway, it's in there, and I still give him the bag, and he puts it in the bag. And then, but then then became a whole thing, right, for me, because I was like, so what's gonna happen with that? And he was like, oh, I'll take it with me. And I was like, but are you going to kill it? Because now that I've trapped it and it's alive, I can't be responsible for it dying. If it hit a snap trap, I'd be like, oh, it's dead. But it's alive and I have control over what happens to it. So I can't, if you're going to kill it, you need to tell me right now. And he was like, no, I'm going to take it to, he's like, my office is like in this area of town that's really rural. And he's like, there's woods everywhere. He's like, we do it all the time. And I'm like, dude, don't you feed me some line of shit that you're gonna take this to the
I bet he
Rainbow
also
Farm.
takes sick. I bet he takes sick dogs to farms
Yeah.
upstate.
I was
too.
like, don't you fuck with me on this. Like, I will take it to a park if you're gonna. And I was prepared to. But anyway, he said
Yeah.
it's gonna live. So I hope he did. I hope you're out there having your best rat life, little rat man. Not rat man, rat. So we'll see. I'll
What
keep
if
you
it
updated.
turns into like a Milo and Otis situation where he takes it like 20 miles away, lets him off in a field, and he's like, but my family's still back at the house. And he goes on this long Hobbit-like quest to come back to the house.
I have no doubt that I will see it, because I got cameras in the attic and I see them all the time. I'm going to see one with a suitcase, or like giving out, here's a postcard I got from Christmas, Florida. Yeah, I have no doubt that stuff like that. By the way, that Milo and Otis, that's the one with the pug, right?
Yeah.
You know about that movie, right?
I definitely do. Joey, my brother Joey, who he loves dogs. Particularly, he's always had pugs and Boston Terriers. When he found out the way that they treated the dogs on that movie, he can't watch that movie anymore.
Yeah, I can't either. I won't. It's just something like, because I just, especially like where it like jumps over the waterfall.
Yeah,
they just threw the pug over the waterfall.
Threw the pug over the waterfall,
and so
they had
and
like a dozen pugs. Yeah, and just was like, oh,
and they
bring
just
out
kept
the next
dying,
pug.
and they just would bring out the next one. Yeah,
yeah.
Horrible. Anyway,
they didn't give a shit back in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're recording. Yeah, it's shocking and appalling. Well, so we're recording early today because, well, A, it's Labor Day, but Jen's birthday is, as we discussed, on Wednesday.
Am I allowed to celebrate Labor's Day since I am unemployed?
Oh, since you don't have a job, yeah, you have to actually go work for somebody who's taking a day off.
All right.
You're in bed. It doesn't matter.
With that being said, I will be on stage at the Neil Simon Theater down the block. Come see me.
It's Monday. Theater's dark on Mondays.
Thank God I didn't want to do that show.
I barely had time to memorize my lines. No, so we decided that we're gonna have the family over. We're doing a thing, which is why we're recording this early, because my house is full of people and they're waiting on me to get there. so to make it easy, because I knew I wasn't going to be available today.
I have this visual of us recording the podcast and your family all just like standing around the grill, just poking it with sticks. Like, how do we turn this on?
No,
Where's
they're
Richard?
divided. They're divided between my family and Jen's family in the living room, like an 8th grade dance, waiting for somebody to ask somebody else to dance, and no one's speaking to each other. So I was like, hey, let's make it easy. Let's do catering. So, we call like Tijuana Flats or something like let's just do catering.
Nice.
We'll do a taco bar. Boom. Well, but at the end of doing it, I just didn't think things cost this much money, but it was like $300 to order
for Tijuana Flats.
Yeah, to order catering for that. So then I went on to like Kroger and I was like, well, let's see how much it would cost to order everything to have a taco bar. And it was $150. So then I was like, you know what? We're going to make it. So that's what all day yesterday, I made those cookies. I made all the stuff for the taco bar. It's all ready to go.
Have you heard the song White People Taco Night?
No, but I will listen to it on my way home.
I need you, because I'm pretty sure that's what your Labor Day parade or your Labor Day party is going to be. White People Taco Night. It is so good. I do the whole occasion. I'll be like, I want tacos, but I want to like make my own. And I will sing White People Taco Night while I mix up my taco stuff.
But it's gonna be delicious. I also made those Italian rainbow cookies that I showed the picture of. I'm excited to taste them. I hope that the cookies aren't dry. I hope they're delicious. But then, have you ever heard of this? This is another thing we made. I don't know if I have a picture of it. I probably do. I'm just gonna show it to you guys because
my grandmother used to make those Italian cookies, and they're delicious.
Oh, this right here, it's still in the pan, but this is a chocolate almond croissant coffee cake.
Ooh.
And I'm super excited about that.
I love all those things.
Right?
Cake,
and all together.
Croissants, chocolate,
cake,
pots.
Good. So anyway, that's why we're here. House full of people, just waiting.
Nice.
The other reason we're here, Jeremy, is because you had this amazing idea.
All my ideas are amazing.
And you wanted to do this last week, but we kicked it to we kicked it down the road because we watched Swallowed last time. But
sure,
Amazon, which clearly hates you,
obviously
suggested.
With Swallowed, I was like, I think Amazon really knows me. And then we watched this movie this week, and I said, Amazon doesn't know shit about me.
All right, so just a quick gist of this show is that it's 7 short stories.
Yes.
How do they taste? Perfect. I can't wait to eat that Italian cookie. Anyway, it's seven short stories that are gay related.
Yes, I'll read you the quick synopsis that they have on IMDb. 7 short stories about growing up gay in America and searching for true love. Right off the bat, I will say half of these are not about that.
Right.
Half of these short stories.
So, and I will say this, when you put all of the credits at the beginning of a movie, you know it's going to suck.
Yeah.
Because they're like, nobody's sticking around to find out who was in this at the end. So here we go. Now,
wait a minute. Did you stick around for the credits?
No.
Because I need you to go back and watch the credits because there is an original song written for this film that is played over the credits that is just as bad as the whole movie.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No. All right. I need that gif of Gidget Galore at that Sing House scholarship show going. No, baby. No. All right. So what do you think Rotten Tomatoes was? Let's review the shit out of this and then we'll tell you about the stupidity
this
of
is
it.
an independent film. Now I will say this was suggested by Prime and we were deciding what to watch. I was looking for more recent stuff. So Swallowed came out last year. And I thought that this said it came out in 2024. It actually came in 2004. If I had seen that, I would not have suggested this because there is like this period of from like 2000 to 2010 where most of the gay movies, and I'm not including Brokeback Mountain, but all other queer movies that were made are the independent ones are like weirdly terrible.
Horrible. Yeah.
Like absolutely. There was like a dark period for queer cinema. So my apologies. right off the bat because this is
Now,
2004.
If our goal is to review like the quintessential movie of that period, of like the pinnacle of all movies in that period that we could possibly review, it's this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was made a year before Brokeback Mountain came out. So that just tells you the quality of films.
Well, look, it walked so that Brokeback Mountain could
That's
run.
true. That's true. I hope that Ang Lee sent a thank you letter to Michael J. Saul, who is the writer-director of this. Now, one thing I will say interesting, because when you see a collection of films like this, where it's a bunch of short films, it's usually, they all have a similar topic, but it's usually different writers and directors. All of these short films, air quotes around short films, are all written by the same guy and directed by the same guy. It's like, just do a full-length movie then, Michael.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes. I would be shocked if this was higher than a 10% on both audience and critics.
All right. Well, it's a trick question because it sucks so bad it's not even on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right.
Nowhere to be found. All right. So I will say this. It's how many grapes do you give it?
Half a grape. And
Here's-
only because the 7th of the 7 films was tolerable. Like the 7th short film, it would have been something I might have seen on TikTok and been like, oh, I'll heart that. That was cute.
No. Sorry. I thought maybe your half a grape. I'm sorry. It was maybe your half a grape was for the sex scene in the 6th one, maybe. But
No.
I'm going to give you this review, and part of this comes from Jen. Here's how many grapes I give it. 0 grapes. 0. Fuck you. I have no grape. It turned my grapes into raisins. That's how bad it was.
Ugh. I will say on IMDb, because they have the audience can rank out of 460 reviews, it has a 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb, which seems grossly high.
Seems like a lot of people's family members went in and rated that. Look, this is how bad this was. This is how bad it was. All right. Christmas Scrooged, I'm sorry. You were a good movie.
Yeah, after I watched this, I said, is this the worst thing I've seen? Or is Naked Boy Singing still worse? And I think Naked Boy Singing is still worse than this. But the fact that I had to think about it says everything we need to know about this movie.
I out loud asked the same question, and I have come to the conclusion that Naked Boy Singing, because it had music, was better.
Yeah.
I don't
you
even
know what?
know.
That's a valid argument.
Jeremy, I don't even know what happened in these. I don't know. Like, there was one.
Well, quickly,
Let's
I
go
could
through them.
remind you because I wrote them down. Okay, so there's 7 stories. It opens, and I knew this was going to be terrible because it opens with the production company. They have their little cards at the beginning, and it looked like a home video release from 1982.
Yes.
And it was Water Bearer Films. And it was like,
Well, and the whole thing was filmed on a camcorder. And this one, yeah. I gotta say, honestly, this is probably my favorite one.
The first one.
Yeah, it's just so bad. Everything's so bad. The mother.
Story number 1 is called A Christmas Story, because each one of them have their own titles. And as for the past couple of weeks, because I always watch everything with captions, I do want to point out the opening caption says, because there's like bells ringing and it's playing a song, the caption reads, "Bells playing Jingle Bells." And I will say the bells, in fact, are not playing Jingle Bells. They're playing Christmas Tree. So right off the bat, I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
And the tree was hideous.
Horrible.
I will say this because
the tree was as terrible as the parents in this one.
I tried so hard to find a connection with any of the cast. And I don't, but the person that played the mother in this very short silent movie about Christmas she's been in a lot of shows, like a lot of recent shows.
I will say, and usually when we watch things that are like 20, 30 years old, I like to go through and be like, oh, this bit player became this huge star. Nobody involved in this became anything. And except for her. who was
But
in a couple of things that I recognize.
she like play like a bad person in like Law and Order or something like that. You know, I mean, it's that kind of thing. I think NCIS or shows like that she's been involved in. But anyway, so basically the show is this one is it's Christmas morning and the parents are giving a boy and a girl their presents, and they're giving the boy a bunch of sports toys and they're giving the girl dolls and dresses, and the boy hates everything he's getting and just wants to play with all the stuff the girl's getting.
Yeah, so it's shot like a old camcorder from the 80s. So like there were, or 50s or 60s, like the dad's recording with the camcorder. So it's all from the dad's perspective. And the daughter opens her gifts and she's got a princess dress and some makeup. And then the boy opens his gift and it's a fucking gun.
It's
a gun.
That's like the third present. The first one, this is how it escalates. It was a basketball, then a baseball glove, then a gun.
And gun. And I'm not talking, it's not like a squirt gun. It's a real fucking gun.
And he takes it into the thing and he's going like this. And I'm like, is that a gun? And then I'm like, oh my God, it's a gun. And he just wants, it's so hilarious because he just wants to fucking dress. So anyway, he keeps trying to play with the girls like lip gloss, and then they like so they open the presents, then they go to make breakfast, and they come back to eat breakfast, and the boy has taken all the girls' presents. He's got lip gloss all over his face, and he's wearing
the princess dress on,
and all you see.
Wait, first the mother grabs the daughter and shields her as if this is the most horrifying thing she's ever seen.
And then from the camcorder, you just see this hand come across and smack the kid.
And that's the end of story one. That's how it ends. Then we go into story 2, which is called Going Gay.
I will say this about this is about the terrible acting. Like the kid is supposed to be upset every time he opens a present, and Jen's like, "What's up with his reactions?" Like, she says the kid doesn't look unhappy, and I was like, "It's probably just because he's a bad actor and he doesn't know what to do." He kept like giggling, like, "The camera's on me." It's just
he's
so
a
bad.
masochist.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, if I put this dress on, Daddy's gonna slap me."
Yeah.
So story 2 is Going Gay. And this is a short story of a dad picking up his son. The dad is very angry. Turns out that he's picking up his son, who apparently was found in bed with his best friend.
Did you ever watch Night Court, the original Night Court?
Not on a regular basis, but I've seen some episodes, yeah.
I just wrote down that his father was Bull from Night Court. He wasn't really, but he looked like Bull from Night Court.
He does look, he has very Bull look. So the dad and son, they're in the car, and the dad is like really pissed, and he's like, "I know that this was all your friend's fault because I raised my son better than that, and your friend is queer." And he keeps using the word queer, which sounds progressive now, but keep in mind this is 2004, so this was a slur. So this is my favorite part of this one. He's not gay, Dad. And he goes, "Yeah, he is. Remember when we were all, I guess they were all camping or something, or at this event," and he goes, and he came out in a dress, and he's like, he was just being funny and lip singing to Madonna. And I verbally in my living room when he said that, I went, "Gay?" Because that's some gay shit.
I mean, I want to say in like the 90s and 2000s, if your son had Madonna on their wall,
right?
Chances are gay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, James, but your best friend is gay.
Yeah.
Then there's a couple of shout outs of things that unless you were born or like raised in the 80s and 90s, you may not understand. But the dad says, "If you are gay, son, you have to tell me because we can get you help." I read an article in the Reader's Digest. Now, for those who don't know, the Reader's Digest was a magazine that for some reason parents got all of their parenting advice from in the 70s.
Right? And it was like in the TV listings. Right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that all the Reader's Digest? I don't like.
Well,
TV
I mean, it was
listings.
mostly TV guides.
It was like really small.
It was like, this is what you should let your kids watch.
Yeah.
And it was all like Christian programming.
Good times. I will say, like, when he said we're gonna get you fixed, it just reminded me. I just think you never had to experience this, but I think that when I came out, that was the initial parental reaction. We're gonna get this fixed.
Yeah.
But as after a couple of meetings with the psychologist, it was obvious that there was nothing to fix and we were fine. But I just kind of that resonated with me. But I just want to say, This is where I started to think from this one through all the rest of them. All I could think is somebody's about to die. Like I watched every
Yeah.
one of them, like somebody was going to get killed, and so Greg is this guy's name, right? The friend's name, because
Yeah.
James
and Greg.
James runs away, goes back to Greg's house, and Greg's like, I'm in trouble and you can't be here, and they're talking and
So they
James
sneak off to the garage to talk.
yeah, and Greg was kind of rude because he's just like, I'm not gay. He's like, I only did this with you because you're my best friend
Other
and
way
you
around.
wanted to. Oh,
James
yeah.
is the one, and then Greg was the little gay boy who dressed
Yeah.
up as Madonna.
So anyway, how harshly he's like, I don't even think I'm gay. Whatever, I'm not like you.
Yeah, he
It's
goes,
okay.
dude, I only did that because you're my best friend. I'm not queer.
Right, and so it made Greg very sad. Did it make him sad or homicidal or suicidal? I can't tell.
And that's the thing with each of these stories. There's no closure with any of them. So he goes, listen, you can stay the night in the garage, but you need to be gone before my dad wakes up. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. But it was kind of that I'm tired of life.
Yeah.
So you'll find my
And he's
body
like,
in the morning.
He's like, I'm going to bed now. And
yeah.
then he closes the garage
door and end of story 2. And it's like, what?
Yeah. So I just wrote down. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All I wrote down is someone's going to die. I just don't know who it is, but somebody is the next scene. Somebody dies. They just didn't show us.
I didn't know anything about this movie, obviously, or I wouldn't have suggested it. But I started thinking maybe these are all tied, and like maybe the dad is the kid who got slapped in the first video, or maybe James is the kid who got. I started thinking maybe they're all linked. A spoiler alert: none of these are linked, and none of them have anything to do with anyone.
Jen kept waiting for the link. I figured they were all separate, but Jen was like, wait. She was so mad. She felt bad because I had been cooking all day for her party, and then Dylan went into the shower, and it was like 10 o'clock at night last night, and I'm like, I have to watch this movie now, and she just didn't want me to have to watch it alone, so she sat there. She was so mad. I was like, Jen, the last couple of movies we watched were okay. Like, you just picked the stupid ones to watch with me, and she's like, I just felt bad for you. Now I hate you. So
now,
bad.
I mean, I will. The best thing about this movie is it's only 74 minutes long. It's not a long movie at all.
And we watched it, so you don't have to. Save yourself, but listen to the rest of it.
Story 3 is the one that pissed me off the most because the writing in this is terrible, and it's almost like it's perpetuating a stereotype that is so prevalent in the gay community, and it's like it's just you did it for shock value, and it pissed me off for the rest of the movie.
But I mean, seriously, to the guy who wrote it, pick a side.
Yeah,
have a resolution. Stories have a beginning, a middle, and an end. They don't have a maybe this, maybe that, and nothing ever. Oh, come on. It made me so angry.
Either
anyway,
Uncle Byron is a child molester or Kevin is crazy psychotic and needs to be in a mental institution.
And we don't know which one it is. I just want to say this about Kevin. He's played by an actor named Michael James Crowley. And in my search to find relevance and other things they've done, I found another movie that this guy starred in. It's called Herpes Boy. So if that
stay tuned, we'll be reviewing that next week.
If that gives you any indication of the skill level that you're about to encounter.
Yeah. So story number 3 is called History. Uncle Byron is having dinner with his nephew Kevin, who just graduated from college, and he's a lawyer now. Both of them are gay. The boy's mother, which is Uncle Byron's sister, kind of blames Uncle Byron for Kevin becoming gay. And in this dinner conversation, there's like talks about how Uncle Byron was always into young men. You always brought young men around. And that's why I'm dating my professor. And Kevin's dating his old man professor. And they clarify old man is mid-30s.
Yeah.
So apparently we're dead. But it comes out. Also Uncle Byron clarifies because Kevin was like, I remember when I was younger, Uncle Byron, you used to date boys. And Uncle Byron goes, they were young men, Kevin, not boys. And then he's like, ha, 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 and like looking around all creepy like. Anyway, it comes out in conversation that Kevin thinks Uncle Byron molested him.
It's just so weird, though, because you're like, you get this, there's this tension. Like, you're like, is this dude is he gonna fuck his uncle?
Yeah.
Like, is that what's going to happen? So then the uncle goes to the bathroom and is in the urinal, and then the nephew walks in and goes into the stall. and then starts talking to him. It
Yeah,
breaks
he's
so
like,
many rules.
I can't look you in the face and talk to you. Well, can you get out of the bathroom and talk to me?
Right, like I'm peeing, man. Let me
Yeah.
do that. Anyway, so that's when it
there's
comes
an
out that
argument.
he's like
Yeah.
this whole thing and like, oh, you touched me, and the guy's like, no, I didn't. You know, you're making this up. The thing is, you don't know who's right because
No.
then it just gets weirder.
Because Uncle he's getting frustrated and angry. Obviously, he's just been accused of being a child molester. And Kevin is like cool as a cucumber. Like, he's like, no, I don't want anything from you. I just want you to admit it.
He's like, I didn't mind.
For money. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fine. So then Uncle Byron's like, let's just go. So they get in Uncle Byron's car, and Kevin comments, I like your car, Uncle Byron. I prefer it was yellow. I like yellow. And mine would have a nicer stereo. End of
Insane.
story 3.
So
that is how it ends.
What's weird though is like they were talking in the car for a while, and then Uncle Byron gets out and paces around, and he's like crying, and he's like, I never did this, and you know that, and blah blah blah. And there's this like weird moment where he's standing there crying, and then Kevin gets out of the car, touches him on the shoulder in an awkward way, and says, "Do you feel better now?" And he said, "Yes." About what?
And then they get in the car. Yeah. Absolutely worst of all 7 of these stories. I'm not saying something.
No, I don't know, because the next one
is
this really fucking weird.
I will say this one is not as bad as story number 3 because, say hello to Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Yep, close the door.
Chris
there you go. Bye, Chris.
A Chris cameo.
It's funny because I sent him a text before we started, and I said, hey, either come home before or after the podcast, but we're going from 10 to 12.
You should have lowered the fire escape so we could come up the fire escape. That is the I just got home from being out all night walk. It totally is.
Okay, so story number 4 is called Sunday, and it starts with a couple in bed, and there's a card on. They just go by Chris.
Oh my God, I'm dead. I am dead. For those of you that are just listening,
it's a wide-angle camera lens.
Chris came in the front door and walked to the bedroom, but then he clearly had to go to the bathroom. So he got down and started crawling across the floor, but you can still see his hair bouncing along.
Do you remember that news video that came out a few years ago of the guy he's talking on CNN?
Oh,
and the kids come in, and the wife crawls in to grab the kids. That's
exactly
like.
what you'll get to see him again when he's done. Or he's just gonna live in the kitchen. Yeah.
So this couple's in bed. There's a happy anniversary card on the nightstand. One of the 2 guys wakes up. The other one's asleep. I'll use air quotes because we find out he really wasn't asleep. And he reads it, and it's a bunch of messages from people like, happy anniversary.
There's a lot going on in the opening of this too. Like there's so much you don't know, because the happy anniversary could have been like for him and his wife, and he woke up in this bed with this other guy, and then there's just this.
My mind didn't even go there. I assumed they were married, and that was their anniversary.
Yeah, I mean,
card.
there were so many like things we didn't understand, and like just a lot going on in the opening that you just don't know what's happening. And like you expected the guy to put his glasses on and then look over and be like, oh my God, there's a man.
So he rolls over, and there's what we assume is his husband sleeping. So he's just like looking at him lovingly. And then he reaches over to like touch his face, but he doesn't touch his face.
No.
He hovers like a half inch away from him, and he's just like petting his aura. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. But the entire time he's
being
touching
a creep.
his husband. But it's like
creepy.
a half inch away. And I was like, oh my God, what if this is like a hookup, or like he met him last night? This is even creepier.
Oh,
at least if you're married, then you at least know what kind of weirdo he is.
I'm thinking he drugged this guy. And then he put him in there, and he's like, it's weird because he's petting him without petting him. It's so creepy.
So then the sleeping guy smiles, and the creepy petting guy says, you were pretending, you weren't sleeping. And then he like hits him with his pillow, and he's like, because you lied to me, you need to go feed the dogs.
So then he started to get up to go feed the dogs, and I looked at Jen and I said, wouldn't this be hilarious if this was it and it ended?
And that's how it ended.
And it ended.
That was it. It's the shortest of the 7 short films. Also, it has nothing like all the other ones, I guess, could kind of tie into like a theme. This one is like completely separate from all of that. Feels very out of place. Number 5, why watch this one? And I said, even if Rick hates this, I'm sure he likes this one.
Yeah, because Dear Evan Hansen is in it.
Oh my God, I wrote down. Hold on, where's it? Lonnie is a Ben Platt looking shy guy making gaga eyes at a twink in the club. And then further down, I said, Evan Hansen is really pissing me off in this.
I did the thing where I watched it with subtitles, and there's a sex scene in this where they're in a car, and it's in the thing says muffled groaning, and that made me laugh.
It sure was muffled. So it starts off with a pair of twins getting ready to go to the club. They are a part of a gay frat at their college. That this one guy who was like, oh, I started up because, there's, all these frats are all these weird loser guys. I wanted one that's, all gay guys. So they got their little gay frat and they're going to the bar. Now, Lonnie, who is the Ben Platt looking fella, there is a guy that he is fixated on at the club whenever he goes. And it's this cute little twink. His name is Spence. And he stares at him every time they go to the club. So they go to the club and obviously he is fixated on this guy and watching him dance. All of his friends are like, we want to go to a different club. This place is boring. So he's like, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom and then we can leave. So he goes in the bathroom and then Spence, his big crush, comes in and they have like a moment. And then Spence's boyfriend comes in.
Well, Spence kissed him.
Oh yeah,
because he's like it's hot that you stare at me. I like when people stare at me, and then he kissed him, and then the boyfriend walked in, and Spence is like, "Don't hurt him. Let's just go." No.
Yeah, so there's like an argument between Spence and his boyfriend, and the boyfriend's like, "You can have him," and then he storms off. And then you think, "Oh, Spence got out of this abusive relationship, and Lonnie's
good for him.
Good for him." So he's like, Lonnie tells Spence, "Oh my God, you're perfect." Oh no, that's when they get to the car. That was my favorite part of this whole thing. So Spence is like, can you take me home? So Lonnie tells his friends, I'm going to take Spence home. And instead of going home, he doesn't want to go home yet. So they go and park. And for you kids who don't understand 50s lingo, parking means you go to like a wooded area and then you do stuff in the car. So because you can't go to anybody's house. So
when you both can't host.
Yeah, when no one can host, you go park. So they're like kissing, and then Lonnie looks at Spence and he goes, "You're just the most perfect man, Spence." And Spence says, "Aw," and then blows him.
Zip.
And my first thought was like, "Come on, Spence." And then I was like, when I was younger, that's all it took for me. You tell me I'm pretty or I'm a nice guy, I'll blow you. So he starts blowing him, and then they end up in the backseat and they have sex. Spoiler alert, I was surprised Spence was the top. I honestly thought he was going to be the bottom.
Also, I am surprised that they were able to have sex when they both had their pants on all the way up to their waists.
Yeah, let's just say there was no good blocking, and neither one of them wanted to be fully naked. It's not in their contract. So
this may be the point. This may be the point at which I yelled at the screen. This is on Amazon, and Greetings from Queertown isn't?
Yeah. So a car pulls up behind them as they're getting dressed in the back seat, and it's Spence's boyfriend. And I'm like, oh shit. Here is, like you mentioned earlier, this is where someone gets killed. This is where someone's going to die.
It's going down.
So they get out. Spence walks over to his boyfriend, and his boyfriend goes, "Did you get what you needed?" And Spence goes, "Yeah." Kisses his boyfriend, and then they get in the car. Well, first Spence's boyfriend says something like nasty to Ben Platt, and then they get in the car, and Evan Hansen starts crying and screaming, "Fuck you!" They like play. It's like a weird little sex thing game that they played, and then you know
what's funny though? It's like there were a couple of moments too in reading the captions where like something dramatic would happen, or like they're having sex, and then it would say crickets.
Yeah,
it was cracking me up.
That's how it was in the living room.
A lot of bird chirping and crickets going on.
So they played him. He got played, and then to the next story.
So then there was a decent one. Finally, one that had a beginning, a middle, and an end. Except it did have Timu Dan Levy in it.
Yes. Um,
So there's this guy who just it's a birthday party for this guy, and there's this couple that's there, and a room full of friends, and one guy's sitting on the ground, and he's just wasted, and he's like definitely a Timu Dan Levy.
you could tell by the way he acts in this scene that off camera he needs to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
Like, this is all about me, guys. It really isn't. The story has nothing to do with you, dude. So
It
move
really
on.
has nothing to do with it. You're
Nothing.
just the catalyst to get everybody else to talk because they're making
so
fun of
this
you.
the apartment that they're at, it's this gay couple. One of them, it's their birthday, and they're all having a good time, and there's like witty banter back and forth, but it's not witty or bantery. So then the people, the couple who the apartment it is, they're like, we're gonna go get the cake because it's a birthday party. So they go in there, and then it's like this conversation. The birthday boy is like, he starts bickering him like, why are you with me? You don't want this. And he's like, no, I love you and I want this. And in the conversation, you find out that the birthday boy is sick. Now, because it's 2004 and just the way he's talking, I'm pretty sure he has HIV. And that's what they were referencing to. Nobody ever says HIV. But just given the people and the time period and the way they're talking to each other, I'm pretty sure birthday boy found out he has HIV. And his boyfriend's like, no, listen, I love you and I want to be with you and I don't want to be with anybody else. And then they kiss as they turn I don't know why they turned the kitchen light off, but they lit the candles on the birthday cake and then they're kissing in the kitchen. And then that's the story. That's the whole story. Cake's lit on fire on the stove. Boys are kissing in the bath or in the kitchen.
See, there's
and
not a
everyone else is
creepy
in the living
ending.
room waiting for cake.
Yeah, but based on the other ones, I was expecting them to break up and him leave with the other guy.
Yeah.
Just because of the way the other ones are going. So then we get to the last one.
Yes, story 7 called A Little Drama, which is basically the whole movie. It's just a little dramatic.
So it was bookended by silent movies. So the first
Yes.
one was a silent movie. And the second one, there's like this opera thing going, which is kind of confusing because it's this operatic voice. And then there's people in these old timey costumes on a stage. And you might think to yourself, this is the opera. But then no, because the woman singing is clearly not any of the characters on the stage. Yeah.
So you realize as they're doing the show, they're doing Romeo and Juliet.
When did you realize?
When they started doing the sword fight.
Yeah, when Mercutio got stabbed. I was like, oh, this is probably Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. When the swords fight started, I thought it might be Hamlet because it's very Shakespearean outfits they're wearing. But then after he stabs Mercutio, and then he goes in and the lady's laid out like Snow White, I was like, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
But the entire time, there's this little twink on this, like a stagehand twink on the sidelines. And he's watching, and he's staring at Romeo a little hard.
I do have to say, when they showed the guy, the stagehand staring at Romeo, I just wrote this. I bet this guy's friends call him the Beeve.
And he does have a tooth issue.
It's so mean, but if you watch it, you'll know what I'm saying.
He's got big teeth, but it's fine. He's fine. So the stagehand is kind of like secretly behind the curtains, and he's like watching Romeo. And then the show ends. He drinks the spoiler alert for those who haven't seen Romeo and Juliet, this 1,000-year-old play. He drinks the poison. Juliet finds him, kisses him, then stabs herself. And then like all the actors and it's like a high school presentation. They're all younger.
When he kisses Juliet and looks up and he makes eye contact with the guy, his reaction was so weird.
Yeah, you couldn't tell if he liked it or not.
It was like, also it was sort of like, this is what I imagine, like, say, like, people graduate. This is no offense to anyone. So, like, people who graduate, like a community college theater degree, and the best jobs they get are working at, like, for acting in shows that other people seeking theater degrees are directing. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So they finish up, and anybody who has been in a high school or a college stage performance, the curtain closes, and then all the actors are like, yeah, high five. That's the best anyone has ever done on stage. We're going to be the biggest stars ever. So they all leave, I'm assuming, to go to like a local Denny's to celebrate their closing night. And the stagehand is cleaning up, and he finds the little hat bonnet thing that Juliet wears, and he puts it on, and he's looking all pretty. And Romeo comes in, and he sees him, and he walks over to him, and he takes the hat off of him, and you're like, oh my God, is he going to be like, you're not Juliet, queer? But he takes the hat off of him, and then he leans in and he kisses him, and then he runs off. And the little stagehand sits down on the floor, content with his little peck.
He was way too pretty to think he was going to do anything other than kiss him.
Yeah.
But the when he kisses him, it seemed like the stagehand pulled back a little.
I think it was like surprise, like he was
like,
shocked.
oh,
that
I
it
can't
happened.
believe that Romeo.
I can't believe he just did that.
I'm Juliet and Juliet.
Now, I will say this with also the knowledge of the whole movie sucked.
Yeah.
But of the 7 shitty little movies, this was my favorite. And I think because I liked the opera, I liked the whole no dialogue, and I liked that it was really fast. It was really quick. It's a very short one.
The song was really good.
Yeah.
And I will say that the lack of dialogue in the first one and the last one distracted from the fact that probably no one in it could act.
Probably, yeah. But the little stagehand, he slides down the little wall, and he's got a little smile on his face, and then the credits roll. And then the true atrocity of this film begins with the original song that plays over the credits that is just so sappy and so awful. I'm going to find a link to the song and send it to Caitlin. Maybe we'll post it up on social media so people can hear it. It's a terrible song. And I'm sorry if you wrote the song and you're listening to this, but maybe 20 years later you got better, or maybe you find another career path. Because it was awful.
I mean, it's so weird to see something that's just this awful.
Yeah.
And like just to find anything to say about it.
You know what positive I can say about this movie? Watching this movie made me think I could make a movie. If that guy can make a movie, I can make a movie.
Yeah, it made me think I spent too much on the documentary I made.
It's
yeah. Anyway,
good job,
definitely,
Amazon. How about
Watermark will make a movie. There will be some sort of movie made that we're gonna do and put on YouTube because it's clearly, all you need is a camera.
Yeah. I'll go through and see what else Amazon has recommended. But you've put a bad taste in my mouth, Amazon, and I don't know if I can trust anything you've recommended.
Yeah, you're like a bad listener, or a listener that gave a bad suggestion and we hated it. And it doesn't matter what you've done in the past. This is what we think of now, so you got to do better. I will say this though: when we talk about what we're going to do next, we need to do something good. I need something good.
Well, I will say, because we've been talking about this movie that was earlier this year, was at a lot of film festivals. I believe it opens this weekend, called Twinless
on the 5th.
On Friday, which I can't see it on Friday because Friday, me and Chris are going to see Paloma Diamond at 54 Below. And I am so excited for this. Paloma put out a new video yesterday, and it was just amazing. Her dramatic talents rival Meryl Streep, and I cannot wait to see a whole show of Paloma Diamond. So we'll talk about that. But yes,
I just
Twinless
confirmed
this weekend
that Twinless is playing in Orlando. Sometimes I gotta make sure, because sometimes it's like you'll get shows that I won't get.
Yeah,
so.
I'm being in New York. I don't even check. I know it'll be in New York. It's just a matter of which theater I'm going to go see it in.
Being in New York, God,
being a New Yorker, I can see all.
I have a friend that told me that I wasn't a New Yorker until I lived there 3 years. So I did live there 3 years, and then I moved.
Oh, really?
Right after that.
Is that the time limit?
That's what he said. But this was back in 98, 99.
I have met people from New York who are like, unless you were born in New York, you're never a New Yorker. And I was like, you live in Staten Island. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. You're not. So you've been hanging out with Colin Jost, or the Impractical
Pete
Jokers,
Davidson, or the
I heard
for
Joe's
all the shit
back.
Staten Island gets, there's some decent folks who come out of Staten Island. Just those.
Yeah. I heard
Just
a
those
rumor that
5.
Joe was back, but I can't confirm
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to look into that. But yeah, so next week, maybe Twinless. We'll take a look at that.
Yeah, we'll see.
And Paloma Diamond and some other stuff. But until then, the cork is back in the bottle.